with Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and big topic is the same, to else for subject's benefit, meaning for we're speaking for the benefit of the person who we're speaking about, to help him. So today topic is social pressure. So rebel due to temptation is someone who regularly submits to temptation and violates specific mitzvah. So meaning even it's a small mitzvah, whatever mitzvah, but person has physical temptations. Okay, but it's small. It's not big. Okay. While the prohibition against gossipmonger does apply with regard to the speaking about him, as he is not heretic, this situation differs drastically from one who occasionally transgresses a given mitzvah, but basically is committed to its observance. Okay, so it's very important difference, halachic difference. So one more time, rebel due to the temptation. So the person, the person is doing something not because he's against Hashem, right? But because he cannot withstand his temptation, let's say, eat not kosher. Okay. So one more time, rebel due to temptation is someone who regularly submits to his temptation in violation to specific mitzvah. So it's not in everything, but wherever it is, right? While the prohibition against gossipmonger does apply, gossipmongering does apply with regard to speaking about him. So because he's not a heretic, right? He's only in this weak in this area. As he is not a heretic, the situation differs drastically from one who occasionally transgresses a given mitzvah, but basically is committed to its observance. Okay. So if it's only from time to time, or person does it continually. Okay. As we have learned, the primary prohibition of against speaking Lashon Hara is do not go as a gossip monger and against your people, right? Amisecha, right? As it says, Vayikra. No, it's not Amisecha. Be'amcho. Vayikra 19:16. So against do not go as a gossip monger and not among your people. One who embarrasses his fellow Jew, transgressing the prohibition, and man shall not be aggrieved. Man should not aggrieve his fellow. So okay, so I mean he's building up the case. So one thing is we cannot speak Loshon Hara about someone who is part of your nation. So if a person transgresses only when some sins in occasionally, so here they're sinners, but still part of the nation. Okay, that's one case. Second thing that we just said, somebody who embarrasses his fellow Jew transgresses the prohibition, and man shall not aggrieve his fellow. Vayikra 25:17, and we learned before meaning in these words. So aggrieve like in all other areas too, like, right? But with words especially. Okay. Our sages interpret the Torah, the Torah Amcho, right? Your people. In the first prohibition, excluded only a rebel whose intent is to spite. So in the first thing, when they say do not speak this Loshon Hara about your people. So if somebody does it dafka to anger God, and then he said I do not care. So he's basically he excludes himself from this from your nation, and we're allowed to speak, and sometimes we're obligated to speak bad about this person. One who lacks the regard to given prohibition causes him to regularly transgress it. right? Meaning that he basically, that person, maybe it started with temptation, but it finished that he actually put this mitzvah, like cross it out from the Torah. Has for sure. That's how he's acting. However, the term his fellow in the second prohibition includes even this person who rebels on purpose. Thus, it is forbidden to speak Lashon Hara about this Mumar, the guy who rebelled against the rebel due to the temptation. That's translation. But it is permissible exert a social pressure on him in order to induce him to mend his sinful ways. So what does it mean? On one hand, so I mean he built up the case, right? So that's what I said. Two separate verses, they had to come together, right? On one hand, this guy is still part of the nations. On another hand, it says different verse, do not embarrass, aggrieve another. But in another verse said that you have to, not verse, but halacha is that we have to help him. How do we help him? So he stop sinning. How he would stop sinning? If we apply social pressure. Social pressure, I'm not sure today how is it applied. Today is not so easy. I am, as I said many times, today is not easy because many of us some of us live in a place where there are many shows, so many communities. They embarrass him in this community, he goes to a different community, or they did not like him here. So, and there are some schools that just need people. They would accept any low life, basically, unfortunately. But in olden days, it was not so simple. So you have one shul in the city, main synagogue, huge one, right? So everybody would come there. So if you bend from the community, you're out. So that's people were scared about it, and that's why social pressure worked very well. So everybody knows you. Nobody's going to marry your children. Nobody's going to do business with you. Nobody's going to hire you as a worker or buy from you if you have a store. So social pressure was a big deal. Today, not so much, unfortunately. Continuation, page 407. Continue. It is permissible to publicize that the Jew regularly violates a particular halacha if it is clear that he is aware of the halacha and has chosen to ignore it. Of course, as we said before many times, you have to come and tell him, look, Mr. Jew, that's what you do is not proper. He's a halacha, that's what it says, but he chose to ignore it, yeah, so you can embarrass him in public. And it stands to reason that the publicizing his behavior will induce him to change, right? So it helps him to change. For example, somebody is talking in a show. Of course he knows that you're not allowed to talk to him. You shush him once, twice, so you can embarrass him. This applies even if he transgresses the law out of the temptation. Okay, temptation, shmentation, but you told him, look, you're going against Hashem, and you're hurting not only yourself, but all other people around you. Okay. However, one must be certain that all the condition of Tehillim, constructive speech, including purity of intent and lack of alternative, apply. Right? Including purity of intent and lack of alternative, meaning that you try other avenues, as we said before. So it should be last thing that you do if you don't have any other choices. We stop here.